How's your shower?
My shower is just fine. Why do you ask?
There's a lot of context behind that question.
Yes, there is. I have, taken up a new, don't call it a hobby, new skill set as an amateur plumber, involving
a new profession.
Oh,
perhaps?
Profession. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Kind of like an MMO thing. Yep. Okay.
Career?
No, not a career. No.
Oh, okay. Too far.
Yeah.
Why did you choose? Okay. I have so many questions. I just fill everyone else in, I guess, and then I'll ask all of my questions.
Okay. Yeah. So this past week, undertook a project because my wife told me that there was a little drip in our shower in the master bathroom. And so it was dripping like once every 10 seconds or so. And I looked this up and I'm like, okay, let me see, dripping shower. What do I do? Right. Look up on Google, and there's an article and it says, if it's leaking when it's on, it's the shower head. So like if it's not spraying, but it's like leaking out of around the shower head, like then that's the shower head. Okay. Makes sense. And if it's leaking when it's off, if it's like dripping or leaking when it's off, then that's something inside of the handle, like the valve.
The valve. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out my thing was the valve thing. And the people that make shower valves or sink valves or anything else valves, make it so that there's like a replaceable part in these things that does the temperature control. So like the mixing of the hot and cold water to make the water the right temperature you want. It's this thing called a cartridge. And, it comes with the valve, and mine has never been replaced, and you can replace them to fix a dripping faucet.
Are they replaceable because they go bad, or are they replaceable because they're designed to go bad?
I don't think this is a planned obsolescence thing. I think they are replaceable because if you have hard water, or if you have, like gunk in your water or whatever, they can kind of get gummed up and they can they can start to deteriorate. So like this thing is like a cylinder, and it's got two big rubber pads on either side that go to the hot and the cold like pipes. And the big rubber pads like make contact with the valve body that's like made of metal, it's brass. And those things, I think, wear out, and that allows the water to kind of get around them. And like, even when you've got it turned so it should be off, it will let a little bit of water through, and that's what makes the drip, I think.
I see. So because they're moving and all that, they degrade over time.
Exactly. I mean, and these things are 10 years old, and I have pretty hard water. So like it makes sense, right? It's not like unexpected that this would happen.
Okay. So in your infinite wisdom, you decided to take on this project yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
because all of the listeners here already know that Jason, me, would have just called a plumber or ignored the problem for 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, what I maybe should have done is ignore the problem for at least like 5 weeks. But I didn't do that. I looked it up and it said, replace this cartridge thing. I said, cartridge, that sounds like a single part. And then I go on YouTube and I look at it, and, there's YouTube videos for everything now. And I find some YouTube videos about how to replace this cartridge. And, it's these people that are like, taking videos of themselves, pulling out this thing from a shower, like valve, whatever, taking it apart and all this. And it doesn't look hard because
they make it look so easy.
They do, because they cut the videos, right? So you watch them do these things, and they're making like TikTok style little shorts, actually I think one of them was a YouTube short. And so you get like 1.5 seconds per step of this thing where it's like, unscrew this, unscrew that, take this off, unscrew this. And then, attach pliers to this part and pull. And then they show the pulling for like 1 second, and then the thing is out in the next frame. And let me tell you, that is not how it works in real life. Because I, got my vice grips, like big pliers and stuff, and I'm like pulling at this thing. I'm trying to get it to spin. I'm trying to get it to pull out, whatever. It did not move. And so I got it a little bit out, basically far enough out that there's like a little retaining clip that you're supposed to keep in there so that like the water pressure can't push this piece out. And of course, step back, you have to turn the water off to your entire house in order to do this project, because some valves will have like little screws next to the valves, like, behind the handle or whatever, where you can like locally shut off the water to the valve, which lets you turn the water back on to the rest of the house, but not like and work on this thing while it's essentially dry. Mine doesn't have that, which means you have to turn off the water to the entire house to do this project.
Yeah. I recently had my shower upgraded, and one of the things he did was put in local shutoffs, which would help when I want to do this eventually, maybe someday.
It's not that hard. I can tell you.
Let me correct myself. When someone else wants to do this for me, that I pay money to do it because they're a professional.
Yeah. Fine. Whatever. So I had the new part, and I had this thing a little bit out, but it was too far out, so I couldn't put the clip back in, which meant that we had to have the water turned off unless somebody was paying attention to this thing to make sure that it didn't like turn into a projectile and then start gushing water all over the place in places where it shouldn't, like inside of walls.
In the shower.
Yeah, but it also would have gone into the wall, which would have been bad.
Oh, that would have been bad, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's in the wall, and then it's in the ceiling of the downstairs.
You put some duct tape on it, you leave it for the next day.
Yeah, no, it just didn't seem like a good idea. So anyway, so that happened overnight, right, Sunday into Monday. And then the thing about it is there's a tool that does this. There's a tool for removing this cartridge thing. And I didn't have the tool because the tool wasn't sold at Lowe's or whatever. I couldn't get it like day of. So I didn't get the tool. I was like, I'm smart enough. I'll figure this out. And I skipped over the part where I tried to like MacGyver together some semblance of the tool using lots of weird things like a giant socket wrench socket and some like little drill bit things and like a wing nut, like a wall anchor wing nut thing. I mean, it was some real MacGyver.
Somehow a Raspberry Pi was involved as well, right?
No, this was all analog. This was no
I'm kidding.
major electricity in here until later. Stay tuned for electricity.
Oh no.
Anyway, so I got the tool the next day and I talked to some friends and the friends was like, oh yeah. Cause I was telling him my plight. I was telling him, I was trying to get this thing out. It was really hard. He goes, oh, I know how to fix that. There's a tool. I said, I know there's a tool. I ordered the tool. And so I was waiting for the tool to come, but he's like, yeah, the tool makes it super easy. No problem. Barely an inconvenience. Not a problem. And so I get the tool and I attach it to the thing and it screws in and it's got this big like handle on it and you have to pull real hard and you have to spin it and pull and spin and pull and you're trying to get this thing out and you don't really care if you mess it up because you're gonna break that rubber and you're gonna replace the whole thing, so it doesn't matter if you maim it. However, I managed to crack the whole thing in half with half of this cartridge thing still inside the valve.
Oh dear.
And now the part that the tool attaches to, which is also the part where the handle screws into, has come off in my hand essentially, and the rest of it is still stuck in the wall. So
did they like super glue this thing in?
No, I mean it was just that like old and messed up. Like it just was that frictionful.
Wow.
So it was just stuck in there, and so then I'm pulling those pliers and like breaking off, like chipping off little pieces of plastic and like pulling out the middle of this thing and whatever. And I finally get down to the point where there's one little ring of plastic left inside the valve body, and I have one little tab left of pliable plastic that would break off if I tried to plier it. So I'm at the point now of no return where I'm just like, well, okay, I can either pull off my last tab and this thing is going to be stuck in there, and then eventually you end up calling a plumber and they replace the entire valve, or you do it, I guess, but that was beyond my ambitions. Or you get clever and you come up with a solution to get this thing out of there by hopefully chipping away at some material so that it makes it, not so tightly fit inside this little cylinder, and it comes out. So
I have to know at this point, did you take any pictures of this experience?
Oh yeah. I have pictures of many parts of this experience.
Is this something you'd be willing to share maybe in the P&A Discord?
Oh yeah. No problem.
Okay. So at this point you've got some kind of hole, and within it you have a plastic piece connected to a plastic ring. I assume if you break off the plastic piece, you'll lose the plastic ring somewhere in there, and that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still be able to see it. You just wouldn't have any grip, any way to get to it because it's inside of a valve thing, and so you can't get on both sides of it, so you can't like push it out from the back. You can't like because it's really hard like leverage wise to get figured out. So I at first was like, ooh, let me get a Dremel tool. Let me get something like a little grinder, like a little drill bit that I could like, drill and like, like kind of like a dentist, right? And you cut, whatever. And
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure our one dentist adjacent listener will love that reference.
Yeah. That's what they do. Right.
Yeah. They get little drevels.
Yeah, if I had a little dentist drill, it probably would have gone pretty well. But all I had was like a relatively large Dremel that probably would have been way too imprecise. And I would have ended up scratching the inside of the valve fixture, which would have meant that once I did get the new piece in, it would leak because it wouldn't create a seal against it because I would have taken away too much material. So that was quickly nixed as a bad idea. But what could be a good idea is heat, because plastic melts when it gets hot. And so,
okay, I kind of see where you're going with this.
Yeah, this found me walking up the stairs with an extension cord to carry into the bathroom because, for some reason they don't put plugs next to showers. And so I needed to solve this problem for myself.
Okay.
And so I ended up using a soldering iron, which is usually made for, repairing electronics and stuff, and heating up metal so that it melts onto other metal so that it can, hold it in place and create electronic, conductive connections. Instead, I used it as a blunt instrument to create heat to melt the plastic inside of this little valve body, because the plastic could melt and the brass that this valve thing was made out of isn't going to get hurt at all by some heat. So it was fine. So I did this, and I heated it up and pushed real hard and basically created a little hole in this thing that left a C-shaped piece of plastic in there. And then I grabbed the remaining tab that I had left myself with the pliers, and it pulled right out, no problem, all good. And it was solved.
Was the rest of the process past this uneventful?
No. I mean,
no.
Yes, but no.
Because you've got everything out at this point, right? Everything you've essentially removed the old one. All of this entire story up until this point has just been removing the old one.
Correct. Yes, this has entirely been just removing the old one. From there, you have to clean it out. So I had to get all of the little rubber bits that were kind of stuck to the sidewalls of this thing. Get those out, which are easy. That wasn't hard. And then there's some minerals and stuff. So I sprayed some cleaner in there, and I got an old electric toothbrush head, and use the electric toothbrush to really get it in there, and so that was great. Another dentist reference there. And then so it was all cleaned out, everything's good. I get the new one out of the package. I put the little, it comes with grease, like a silicone based grease or something that you put on it to lubricate it so that it would go in. And so I put the cartridge in the valve, and it fits no problem. It works no problem. It's great. But then as I'm pushing it in, I pushed on the center part, and I feel it give, and I was like, oh, okay, this is probably bad. But I was hopeful, and I was just let me just push in some more from the sides and not the middle, and just hope it's going to be okay. So I put it all together. I test it, turn the water back on very carefully and nervously, and then everything's fine. Nothing's leaking. The water comes on. Shower works. It's great, right? Success. I am the master of the shower here. However, 24 hours later, it's leaking worse than it was before.
What? At the shower head, the thing you were trying to fix?
It's dripping. It's dripping more than it was before. Yes.
Okay.
And so I then take the tool that I got, and I use it, and I apply it to this thing, and I pull. And I was really nervous about this part because, last time I used the tool, it completely broke the thing in half. And so what I did was I had discovered in the meantime, there is a heavy duty version of this cartridge thing that's completely made out of metal. It's made out of brass. It's called the 1222 HD for it's made for hotels, right? Stuff where it's really heavy duty. And so I ordered one of those as a backup, just in case I broke the plastic one, the new plastic one. Turns out everything was fine. I used the tool, and the thing pulled right out, no problem. It was perfect. It just slid right out, no problem. So then I was able to look at it and see that I had pushed out the center of it, pushed through, because it's kind of like a concentric circle around a center core, and so the core was pushed out too much. So then I was able to basically pull that back in, and then reinsert that cartridge, reinstall it, put everything back together, and now 24 hours later, everything is fine. I put a bowl, like a a big plastic bowl underneath the shower head to catch any drips, so I could like have evidence if it was dripping, and it's dry so far. So now finally mission accomplished, and I have this leftover HD heavy duty whatever thing if I ever need to replace this thing again.
Wait, you didn't put it in?
No, I used the old one. I used or not the old one, but the plastic one.
Are you going to return the HD one?
Probably, because it was really expensive.
Oh, okay, good.
Like
good.
The plastic part was like $50 and the metal part was like $70. These are not inexpensive for what they are.
Yeah, you should return the HD one.
I'm giving it a couple days though, because if
sure, yeah. I mean, you got 30 days, right?
Exactly.
Amazon or somewhere else?
Amazon. So I'm gonna give it probably like 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna return it.
Excellent.
So yeah, but long story short, it wasn't that bad once I had the tool and was able to physically get the thing out, the old one out. It was okay-ish.
Great. So I have a comment.
Okay.
I had a lot of questions. All of the questions are gone because for the last 4 minutes, I have wanted to say something.
Okay.
And I have been just holding my tongue, just trying to let you finish.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you're done,
yeah,
I want all the listeners to know that Chris and I did a pre-flight before the show, and I knew he was going to talk about this, but we also had Jackbox Naughty Pack on our potential show notes,
right? Which we're not going to talk about, except unless right now,
which I chose not to talk about. I just want everyone to have that knowledge and go back and listen to that pre-show.
Okay, well.
And that's how we're going to start our show.
Wonderful. Great. Love it.
Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 136. We've got a little bit of follow-up from last episode where we talked in the after show about a bunch of Stream Deck stuff. In the meantime, Elgato has been busy. They've got some new stuff.
Yeah, you sent me, no, I think I sent you a video from YouTube with this new Elgato product, and you're like, I know it's already in our next show notes.
Yeah, they came out with the Stream Deck Studio, which is a $900 Stream Deck thing that's designed for rack mounting on in a broadcast rack. So like if you were like ESPN or something, or, a TV studio or something, and you needed a bunch of buttons that are programmable to make them, be able to switch between cameras or do whatever. This is a professional tool. That's why it's called the Stream Deck Studio, because it's made for a studio.
I want to see someone using this because it seems really cool. At the same time, in a studio environment like that, you very rarely want your controls changing.
Sure.
Like that's what the Steam Deck's all about, or the Stream Deck's all about, right? It's you can change the visuals so you can go to different pages and you can do different things. But like they showed this thing in a setup where there were like 4 or 5 of them in a rack, and it had like, I don't know, 200 keys, 50 each. I don't know how much it actually is.
I think it's 32 each.
And I'm just like, do you want those buttons changing, or should they just be static? And if they're just going to be static, do they really need to be tiny LCD screens?
Well, I think there's a more of a software story to it where you can like configure them, and then maybe you press them and they toggle on and off. But like maybe if you were in a studio that did a couple of different shows, maybe there's like an opportunity to like load up a configuration for a particular show.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying.
For this hour, and then next hour it's the next show, and so you switch your configuration, and then you do want tiny little screens, so you don't have to like swap out a bunch of like pieces of tape or something.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you. All right. Okay. I can see where you're going with that. I think it's a cool product. I would love to see this used in practice. I think that would be a cool, like, does anyone actually want this?
I think there's a market for it. It also doesn't run the Stream Deck software. Like it runs some other more professional kind of hardened software.
No, I noticed that.
Which makes sense.
It's totally different.
BitFocus, I think it's called.
That's not an Elgato piece of software?
No, it's not. Actually, the software itself is called Buttons, which makes sense. Which is a subscription thing from this company called BitFocus, and I think that's they make other control surfaces or something.
This just in. Also, as we're talking about this, I'm searching Elgato, right? And Stream Deck and all of that. Literally 1 hour before we are recording this, they've also announced a brand new Elgato Mic Arm Pro.
Okay.
Which I have a lot of questions about. They're just for reference, their regular mic arm is $100.
Okay.
Their mic arm Pro is $180.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money for a mic arm.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Especially what I would consider a prosumer like mic arm. Like, I don't think this is like, I wouldn't consider this like commercial grade.
Probably not.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Professional grade, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking from my, I don't know, $40 mic stand thing that clamps onto my desk and thinking, I don't know what else you could do to make this that much nicer. This one is special because it's supposed to be able to be used like low. So if you're like a streamer, you can have it so it comes in front, like above your keyboard, like between your head and your keyboard, which is kind of an interesting situation. I don't think I would like that.
Sure, but they have one of those that's non-pro too. That's $100.
Okay. Yeah, I always go for the like around the top kind of mounting.
Yeah, that's how mine works. I mean, I will say mine's also cheap-ish. I could think of some things to make this better, but I don't know that I'm ever going to be willing to spend $180 on a microphone mount arm. Anyway, it's just I don't really care to talk about this too much, but it is interesting that they have now released 2 products in the last couple of weeks. What the Stream Deck Studio, we were talking about the Stream Deck Plus, which I don't know when that came out. I think that's been a while. And now this Elgato Mic Arm Pro in just the I mean literally hour ago. We talked about it last time. Elgato is, I mean, they're a products first company. I have no doubt that this $180 mic arm is quality.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They are, I mean, dare I say, the Apple of like streaming.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, they make the capture cards. They make really fancy cameras. They make like microphones and boom arms and stream decks and all this stuff. They make key lights, like so you can have like fancy lights that keep you lit on stream. Like very, very cool stuff.
I like the one of my favorites of their product that I would never use, but I think it's kind of cool is their teleprompter.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
That thing is cool.
Where you can, it has built-in integration to put Twitch chat on the teleprompter.
Oh really?
So like if you're talking to your stream, when you talk to your stream and read chat, you're looking at your camera.
Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool.
It's clever, right?
Yeah. I like that. Huh. That would be so distracting.
Anyways, are you going to get a Stream Deck Studio?
Definitely not. That's $900. No, thank you. I am still...
Have you purchased a Stream Deck Plus?
I have not, but I'm thinking about it. It's kind of on my list. I don't know when, it might be a Christmas list thing, but it also might just be a Black Friday thing. We'll see. We'll see how we go.
Oh yeah. Good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I'll keep an eye on it. It would be really cool. We learned after the show last week, or last time, that the cool audio software that they have requires either their microphones or a Stream Deck Plus. So that was kind of a damper on things. But with a Stream Deck Plus, you could use their software and then not have to use Voicemeeter, which would be pretty cool. I told you that I've done this? They have these like smart lights, right? Where you can control them with your Stream Deck or whatever. You can control your key light that you like put up on the thing. But their lights are kind of expensive, kind of like all their stuff, right? And they sell a $130 light, and you probably want 2 of them. I have created my own little situation like this using a Philips Hue smart bulb and an old lamp from IKEA that I have. So I put this little smart bulb in there, and I can control from my phone using HomeKit. I can control the light and control its brightness and color and stuff. It's actually really cool.
That is really cool. How much was the light bulb?
Well, I got it as a gift, but I think to buy the light bulb itself is probably like $20.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
But then you kind of need like the hub thing and all that. I think you can do it with Bluetooth if you want to do it really cheap. But yeah, it was something that I already had. Like I already owned it. So like that was nice. But then it was a cool, because I used to have like a little ring light, like a little cheap little USB ring light kind of a thing, which is fine, except that it would like reset its color temperature when the power went out and stuff. That was not fine. So this is more of like a real light bulb, and I can change the color to anything I want. So for some reason I wanted to have like, a green light on my face for Halloween or something. I could just do that. But I have it in some kind of warm tone. I just like to have a light on my face, because so then it, like if I open up, like if I'm on a work call and I open up a big white web page or something, it doesn't like wash out my face and people can like tell.
Everyone doesn't know that you're doing other things while on a video call.
Exactly. So like I just make sure that my lighting is very uniform and solve that problem for myself.
I used to do that. I didn't like the light being in my face all of the time.
This is less of a, it's
but
like
I guess if I could,
softer light.
Yeah, but I guess if I could turn it on and off with a Stream Deck right in front of me, I would probably turn it on during meetings and then turn it off all the other times. If I could, I didn't have to reach up and set it every time. I just clicked a button to turn it on and, clicked a button to turn it off. That sounds appealing.
Yeah, that's what I do. I kind of use it almost like a little on-air thing for myself to remind myself, like, you are in this meeting, you are participating, like you should pay attention and interact.
Speaking of work, I have some other follow-up.
Oh, more follow-up.
I have purchased my second Keychron keyboard.
Oh, yeah. Last we heard, you had returned the one because it wasn't the right one.
Oh, I never gave the big update?
No.
I have a K5 Pro. I bought a K5 Pro. I have brown switches. No, I think I told everyone I bought a brown switch one. I was going to potentially swap all the switches for blue. I never ended up doing that. Brown is fine. Not as cool as blue, but it's fine. So I needed another keyboard, and I got another K5 Pro, and I love it. It's great. It works perfectly. I always leave it plugged in. I know it can work wirelessly, but I just don't do that. And I continue to be very happy with the quality of their keyboards and their consistency, and they're great. But I have a question for you, because I have a mouse at home, and I actually, for work, use a SteelSeries mouse that I use for gaming. I use the same one because I had extras and lots of them.
This is the one with the super thumb button?
Yeah, I use that for work.
Okay.
I really, really like the clickiness of the two primary buttons, right? The left and right mouse button.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely clicky and actually like relatively high force to click. I like that a lot. So I am now on the search for a not so gamey, like not so video game focused, clicky mouse. That is relatively similar to hold in my hand. And right now I have on order the Logitech M500S. I also have a requirement for mice that they can be or they are wired. I do not do wireless mouse.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Huh.
I do not want to charge my mouse. It should be wired or always plugged in.
Oh, I like a AA battery mouse because it's instantaneous to like swap it out if you need to.
Nope. It should be wired. We have the technology. Everything is connected. I require my internet to be wired. Why shouldn't my mouse?
I mean, because you only have to change the battery in your mouse like every 6 months.
No, sorry.
And then you don't have to deal with a wire on your desk all the time.
It's going to run out the wire's fine. It runs out the back of the computer and it's gone forever. I mean, it's got to be wired. I'm not dealing. It will always die. A mouse will always die at the most inopportune time.
I mean, they do have like a little red light where they like blink to like let you know that they are, dying.
Yeah, that's like a gas gauge on a car. No one looks at that.
I do. Whenever my mouse starts blinking red, I immediately change the battery.
Yeah, no, that's not me. You know what is me? Knowing that I will never change the battery and buying a wired mouse. So my mouse has to be wired. The Logitech M500S wired looks relatively the same in terms of like ergonomics. And I'm hoping it is relatively clicky.
Okay.
And it's not super expensive. It's only like $30, which is pretty good for a mouse.
Yeah, most of the like business focused mice are like $100 or more. Like, yeah.
But I guess I'm asking, you made the Keychron recommendation. Do you have a mouse recommendation? Even if it's wireless, I'll listen, but I'll probably leave it plugged in all the time if I can. But do you have a mouse that you have bought multiple times, particularly for work or work-related situations?
My mouse situation is all over the place right now. So I have at home, I have a G602, a Logitech G602, which is a gaming mouse technically, but it's not very gamey. It's got like 6 buttons on the thumb. So it's like a MOBA mouse basically, but it doesn't have any RGB on it. No lights, like nothing gamery about it, other than a G on the top center. It takes 2 AA batteries. It is wireless. I think they made a version of this that was wired, but this is the wireless one. I got it on a super sale. It was on clearance at Best Buy or something a long time ago, so they probably don't make it anymore.
I want you to know something. They don't make it anymore.
Oh, okay.
And they're selling for $250 on Amazon.
Wow. I should sell my mouse. That'd be cool.
Not used. I mean, they're new. Someone bought 100 of them and has been selling them. I'm sure there is a very avid market of this. This looks like a really cool mouse. I actually really like. This is exactly something that I would be looking for.
Yeah. So I use that one at home. I have a Razer Basilisk at work, which takes a single AA battery, and it can work on its little dongle thing or Bluetooth, which is kind of cool. So that's one that I got when I was traveling. I needed a mouse. I wanted a mouse to do some gaming and stuff, so I got that one. I like mice that have like an ergonomic, rest for your thumb, so that you can like rest your thumb somewhere and not have to have like grip the mouse to do it. That being said, my other mouse at home is a Logitech G600, which is an MMO mouse that has 3 top buttons and then 12 thumb buttons. So it doesn't have somewhere to rest your thumb. And it's funny that we're talking about mice because I have been lately very tempted by that SteelSeries World of Warcraft mouse, the Aerox 9, I think it is. It's like an MMO mouse, and it looks good. And
it's quite expensive.
It's extremely expensive. Yeah, it's $160 mouse.
Oh, okay,
which that's why I don't have one. Is because it's insanely expensive.
What's the right price for that mouse?
I think about $100 would be what I would want to pay. It is wireless. It's a wireless MMO mouse. I don't know how I feel about that because my G600 is wired, which I do like. But it is, it looks good. And I'm kind of thinking like maybe I want to try a different mouse just for fun. I do have 2 of these G600s. So like I have the one I use and then I have another one that is very lightly used that I use when I travel. So I have kind of hoarded those because I do like them. But I don't know. Been kind of thinking maybe a different MMO mouse would be kind of fun. And that one would be one that could play wired or wireless. Like, and it comes with some item in game, but I don't know what it is. It's like a pet. I don't care about pets. The thing that looks cool is they've got headphones that look really cool. But anyway.
And how much are the headphones?
I think they're like $200 headphones. But anyway,
that's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, they're not that bad. But to your original question of what mouse to get, so you said you really like the clickiness of the SteelSeries mouse that you have, but it's too gamery. They have a series. SteelSeries has a series of mice called the Prime series, and they come in wired or wireless, and they're cheap. So they have the Prime mouse is $42. It looks like on sale right now. It's normally $60, and it has some fancy switches and it's some, gaming mouse, but like it only has like a little bit of lighting on the wheel, but it's not too crazy. So I don't know what, if you don't like
the Prime doesn't have enough form to it, I guess. I really like what you said about the resting place for your thumb. So like I look at like the Logitech MX Master, which is very like rest your thumb on the mouse kind of thing. I would say that the one that I bought and the SteelSeries that I have aren't as aggressive in terms of like a resting place for your thumb, but there's definitely like an indent for your thumb, and it's not just I don't know what you would call this shape. It's not just a teardrop. I don't know, kind of thing. There's certainly some kind of indent for your thumb. So that's definitely what I look for.
Okay. Yeah, I would take a look at the Razer Basilisk. Is pretty nice. It's very light, which is nice. I don't know. It has a spot for your thumb. It only has a forward and back button on the thumb, which is fine. So that might actually be pretty close to what you would be thinking of.
Okay. All right. I'm on the hunt. So if anyone has any recommendations, particularly for work or office or, and especially if it has a very heavy click, that's what I'm looking for.
Last show, we talked about Astrobot a little bit, which is the new kind of flagship game that's come out for the PS5. And since we talked about it, I have bought it and played it a little bit. So now I can join the fun and say that it is a very good game. It's a super good 3D platformer, and it's full of tons of charm and heart, and I highly recommend it.
I agree, because I also bought it and have played it. It is everything that I hoped it would be, and I have found myself laughing out loud and having a good time, taking bite-sized chunks of it over time, interleaving it between my World of Warcraft playing, and it's been great. It's been exactly what I wanted.
How have you found it, since I know that you are less familiar with the kind of PlayStation like history? Like, have you missed anything because it's kind of inside jokey?
Certainly. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
I don't know what they are, though.
Fair. That's how this works.
I just didn't know. I don't know. They have certain, like, so you, really slight spoilers, you collect bots around the world, and some of them are themed, and like they have like little PlayStation logo when you collect them that like, hey, this is a themed one.
Right.
I haven't known most of them, if not all of them. And I don't know if they're all a PlayStation, like after a PlayStation game of some sort, or if they're just special or themed in some way. But I have found that I don't know most of them.
Yeah, I actually am finding that I only know probably about half of them. They seem to all be games that have come out on the PlayStation, but not all of them are PlayStation exclusives. Because I think I found some that are kind of related to other non-Sony games that would be like cross-platform.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw a Stray one, like from Stray.
Oh, I haven't done that one yet. Yeah, I think there's. Okay. I found the Street Fighter, the two main guys, Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter, I think are both in there. So I'm waiting to see.
And they're also
Final
not
Fantasy.
Named specifically.
Yeah,
like,
they do the Pikmin thing. So Pikmin names all of their human items with weird, obtuse words. And they do the same thing here, where they would be like, oh, here's, I don't know, I'm just thinking of somebody, but like, the stray cat would be like, oh, misplaced feline or something, they would call it.
Yes.
And that would be the Stray, the cat from Stray. So
I'm just waiting for like, God, what's her name from Horizon?
Oh, Aloy? Yeah.
Yeah, Aloy. I'm just waiting for Aloy to show up and be like, this is the dinosaur bow girl. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great game. Some of the more obvious Easter eggs are so fun. I don't know if you've gotten to the ones that I've gotten to, and I would love to talk to you about them, but I do not want to spoil them because, as I mentioned last time, SkillUp said it in his review, and I will reiterate it. The surprise is so much a part of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a great game. It's been very fun to play. It's been a fun little thing to play between WoW and little spoiler, I am currently unsubscribed from WoW just because of logistical reasons, not because of not playing it, but like I happen to have a travel coming up and when I'm going to be away, and my subscription happened to be lining up with the same time frame, so I let my subscription lapse on purpose, but I've been playing Astrobot in the meantime.
Yeah, that worked out well for you. If only you had some way to take Astrobot with you, like some handheld device that worked outside of the home.
Yeah, if only. I mean, if there was like a modern PSP, that would be super cool.
Wow, man, they are just if you don't know, PlayStation developed a handheld device that streams your PlayStation 5 to the handheld device, but only works essentially within the home. It does work on Wi-Fi now.
It works outside. Yeah, you can use it over the internet, but the lag.
But it does not work. I mean, it doesn't. Don't do that, please. It would have been a great device. A handheld PlayStation 5, even with, oh God, it would have been great. That'd have been awesome.
You can get, I think I've tried it. You can do remote play from the Steam Deck in the house. So if you want a kind of handheld, and I have a Backbone 1 controller for my phone, which does work well with the PlayStation Remote Play. You don't get any haptics, but it otherwise works really well.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing in Astrobot is like it is a flagship game for the PlayStation 5 because it is a flagship game for the controller.
Yeah.
So like we made fun of it a year ago. We made fun of this thing that was a PlayStation controller, a DualSense controller, split down the middle with a screen put in the middle. Like Astrobot is the game for that device, and you can't play it outside your home.
Yeah, that is true. Very unfortunate. But the PlayStation Portal does have all the vibrations of the PlayStation controller, which is cool. But oh well.
Anyway, great game. Go buy it if you have a PlayStation 5. Play it. Play it with your kids. Play it with your wife. Is your wife playing it with you? Because that actually would be a very fun shared experience.
Yeah, so she really likes to sit on the couch while I play it, and then she gets very nervous when I die, right? And this is one of those games where it's like extremely low stakes to die because there's checkpoints all over the place. Low stakes. And like if you mess something up, you do a little like death animation or whatever, and then immediately you're back at the checkpoint, which is fine. Like it's no problem at all. But she still gets very into it, which is fine.
It's fun.
That's her thing.
I think that's great.
But so yes, it is a fun like together game that we can play, and it's on the big TV, and we got the surround sound and all that stuff, and it looks great, and it's a great game.
Have you gotten any of the challenge levels yet that are actually difficult?
I did, yes. I have done in the second world. I did all 4 of them.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
They are tough. I think I spent half an hour on one of them yesterday. Yeah, they are tough. Yeah. And then if you do them well, they should only take like 45 seconds. But they're so hard. Yes.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. I actually had to put it down. I did 2. There was 4 of them in that world, and I did 2 of them, and I started the third, and I was like, I'm too angry for this, and I put it down, and I came back to it the next day.
Yeah, I did all 4 of them kind of in one sitting, but I was kind of out of stubbornness at that point.
But I'm glad that there's a difficult level there. Like there's actually like something to chase.
Yeah. That's nice.
As you're going through, this isn't really a spoil. As you're going through, are you 100%ing the worlds, or are you kind of doing them and then just leaving them to go back to later?
I am 100%ing them, except for there's an icon that I haven't figured out what it means yet. So I'm getting all the bots and getting all the puzzle pieces, but there's a third icon that I think you probably know what I'm talking about that I don't know what to do with. So I am letting those go for now, and I will come back and pick them up later. Okay.
Follow-up question. Have you ever returned to a world?
Not after 100%ing it. I've returned to a world to try to do it.
You've played a world a second
pick something
time.
Up. Yeah, and then you get the little bird.
Yeah.
I haven't. Anyway, yes, I have not fully gone through that and tried to use that to find my last little symbol. But it is nice that they have an in-game hint system, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I really love that. And I will say, for the first time ever, I have also used the actual PlayStation hint system.
Oh, yeah, they do have that for this game.
Because I, even with the in-game hints, had a little trouble with one of them on one of the levels. And I was like, I know where I'm supposed to be, and I know, like, how to get there and everything, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I opened up the hint system within PlayStation, like the overlay or whatever.
Right.
And watched like 2 seconds of a clip, and I was like, okay, I got it now.
Yeah. That used to be a PlayStation Plus only feature, I think, but they seem to have opened it up to everybody. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you buy the deluxe version of Astrobot or the regular version?
Oh, I got the cheap one.
Oh, I got the good one.
How much better is it?
I have not noticed a difference yet.
Cool. I feel vindicated.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll get there.
Okay, sure.
Are you upset with the graphic fidelity of Astrobot? Do you need more frames and more pixels?
I don't actually think that Astrobot has any settings at all. Like most games will have a performance and a fidelity mode, and I don't think Astrobot has any settings. So no, I am perfectly content.
I think you're right.
But I think I know why you're asking.
I ask this in jest because the PlayStation 5 Pro was announced, and it offers more.
This is probably the least exciting like mid-cycle bump. I mean, I guess they've only done it once with the PS4 Pro, but like the PS4 Pro felt like a big deal, and the PS5 Pro just doesn't, like, at all.
Yes, I agree with you, but I feel that way because I feel like the PlayStation 5 is such an excellent machine for what it's delivering.
Sure. Yeah. So to catch people up, they did a like little 10-minute video announcement thing where they showed off this new hardware, the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is actually bigger and taller than the existing PS5. Like, it's even bigger, but it doesn't come with the vertical stand anymore. So you have to, get that separately, but whatever.
Or a disc drive.
It also does not come with a disc drive, which is wild to me because this thing costs $700 and like $699, and it doesn't have a disc drive, but it does have 2 terabytes of storage, which is nice. But man, it is expensive. And what their whole big thing of their presentation was people don't like having to choose between performance and fidelity mode, which I don't like having to choose, I will say. But I don't not like it, several $100s enough to change.
Yeah.
Like if they had a trade-in program where it was like DLC for your PlayStation where you could just pay the incremental costs. If I could pay them $200 to get the PS5 Pro, I would consider it. But I would have to sell my existing PS5 for a loss and then buy a new PS5 Pro for, so my delta would probably be like $400 or something, which is absolutely not worth it.
Which is the cost of an entire console.
Exactly. I could have a second one. Oh, if you could like do like a little NVIDIA SLI thing, you like connect them together.
God.
And no, that's not a thing.
I agree with you. The price point's just weird. It's high. I like your idea of being able to trade in, but you take your old PlayStation 5 to GameStop, they're going to give you what, $100 for it?
Probably 200.
Okay, $200 for it, and then you've got to pay $500 to upgrade. It's just not. I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
I didn't get a PS4 Pro either, though. I did have a PS4. I did not get a PS4 Pro. Did you have a PS4 Pro?
I did not have a PS4 Pro, but I knew somebody that had one that brought it to like a LAN party one time, and it was pretty cool. Like it was the PS4 Slim, I guess. Once it kind of had its little redesign to be a little bit slimmer and cheaper, which the PS5 has not had. Let's all remember.
It's only gotten more expensive.
Outside of the US, it's gotten more expensive, and the disc drive one got $50 more expensive too, or the digital one got $50 more expensive. But outside the US, it actually went up even more. But the PS4 had their little slim thing, and then they did the PS4 Pro, which was like added another layer onto the little layer cake that was the PS4. So like it was a 2-layer layer cake, and then the PS4 Pro was a 3-layer layer cake, which was kind of cool. Like it looks cool and looked different, looks like really different. The PS5 Pro, it has these 3 little like stripes in the middle of it, which are fine.
It's got racing stripes.
Yeah, basically. And it's a little bigger than the existing one. Anyway, it's just an odd choice. But I never had one because I got the PS4 Pro, the PS4 regular after it had gotten cheaper. So I certainly wasn't about to spend essentially double to get the Pro one, to buy into the Pro one. So no, I to answer your question, I did not have the Pro. However, I am considering for the Switch 2, even though we've talked about it a million times and I'm very impatient for it, I am considering waiting until they put OLED on that thing to buy it the first time.
We'll revisit this on P&A when it comes out.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But that's my current intention is to hold off and wait until I can get an OLED screen and a Switch.
Okay. I'm glad you said that on a recorded line.
If you can't get enough of PlayStation, though, the PlayStation 1 is celebrating 30 years of existence this December. And I think just today or yesterday, Sony announced that they're doing this big 30th anniversary collection for the PlayStation, the PS5, and its accessories. And I want one of these controllers so bad.
Oh, just the controllers. I will say they've made the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro in the PlayStation 1 colors and like with the PlayStation 1 logo. And
oh yeah, it looks so good.
And then they've also done the controllers in that same PlayStation gray. They look very good. They look really cool. They look like They're very well done.
Yes, they are. The limited edition console, though, the PS5 Pro, they're doing a limited edition. They're only making 12,000 of them, like total.
Wow,
12,300 because the PS1 came out on December 3rd, so they're making 12,300 PS5 Pros with the 30th anniversary color. They also
they like money?
Maybe. They haven't announced the pricing on this, so who knows? Like, they could charge $2,000.
It could be a $2,000 console. Yeah.
But they also have a version of the PlayStation Portal that we were just talking about that comes in these colors, which is kind of cool. And it'd
be a great product if you could play it away from home.
It would be. It really would be. And then they also have their DualSense Edge, which is their fancy controller, kind of like the Xbox Elite controller, and the DualSense regular in these PlayStation colors, which also include the X, circle, square, and triangle in the colors, like in the PlayStation, like the blue X and the, green triangle. Oh. They look so good. And they have the colored PlayStation logo on them, like the old PlayStation colored logo. Oh my gosh, they look so good.
Which one is the better one? The one with the black trackpad or the one with the white trackpad?
The black trackpad is the fancier one, but the white trackpad looks better. Kind of.
I agree.
So I'm a little bit conflicted there. Because
do you have an Edge controller now?
I do not, but I was a little bit tempted when they came out, and the Edge comes with a nice little case, and it's also themed after PlayStation, and it's got the little back triggers, which I would never use, and it's fine. But I don't know. I'm tempted here.
Okay. You had a PlayStation 1?
I had a PS1, which was the slim and cheap version of the original PlayStation, but my neighbor had a original PlayStation in the gray, like this gray. Like, he had the one with the controllers before they had analog sticks on them.
Oh,
like way back. So yes, I am nostalgic for this kind of PlayStation. Until the PS5, I always had the slim. I had the PS2 slim, PS3 slim, PS4 slim. Like, I always had the slim, or like the cheaper, like the mid-cycle version of the PlayStation. But I have had every one of them. I've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh wow. Okay. I had a 2, and then a 4 and a 5. No, maybe I had a 3.
Did like the big 2 with the tray that came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the one with the tray that like flipped up. Like, it wasn't a tray, it was just like a flip open thing, and then it was like really skinny.
I was not on the PlayStation train much. I was much more Xbox until PlayStation 4 and 5.
Yeah, see, I've never owned an Xbox at all.
Well, I think you called it right a long time ago.
Yeah, I've had a PC forever, but I skipped the Xbox consoles altogether.
Okay, well, let me know if you drop $3,000 on a PlayStation 5 Pro themed like a PlayStation 1.
Yeah, no, but, I doubt it. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But these do look really cool. I will give you that.
I mean, I might spend $150 on a controller, though. I don't know. What do you think? Is that's a good episode, I think.
I mean, we planned on having a super short episode, but Chris, this is a WoW podcast, and we haven't talked about WoW.
I know. We had a couple of little WoW quick hits in our document for ourselves, but I think they're going to have to wait till next time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just tidbit for everyone. Season started, and we're well aware, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. If you want to get in contact with us, if you want to tell me what mouse to buy, or try out, because I'm a big fan of trying it out and then returning it if I don't like it, or maybe Chris will post some pictures of his amateur plumbing job in the Discord, which you can get to and see those pictures and chat with us and all of those good things by going to discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find show notes with links to stuff we spoke about, or find any of our older episodes, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. I don't really experience advertisement much lately because I pay for a bunch of stuff that doesn't have ads, but somehow this broke through my ad firewall, and I saw it, and I don't know why, but I just felt like we needed to talk about it on the show because we sometimes talk about weird food and weird things. But right now there's a collaboration between Coke Zero and Oreos, and I don't understand it.
What is there not to understand?
Why? Coke Zero is a zero sugar soda, and Oreos are a very high sugar cream filled cookie. Like, they don't seem to match, like, at all.
Would it make more sense if it was Coca-Cola and Oreos?
That would make more sense to me, although it would still be kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the weird, but I'm intrigued. I'm looking at these pictures now. You posted some pictures in our show notes and or in our agenda, and I did not realize that the Oreos were red and black.
Yeah, they're Coca-Cola themed, not actually Coke Zero themed in that case. So they were smart at least and didn't try to like mix artificial sweetener and like actual sugar.
Wait, so it's Coke Zero.
It's Oreo flavored Coke Zero and then Coke flavored Oreo.
Okay, I'm confused.
It's very strange.
Did they just do it because of the color?
That's what it looks like, but I don't know.
Have you tried this? Please tell me you've tried this.
I have not tried this, but I think I might have to.
Where do you find it? Can you just find it at the store?
I think.
God, I can't even imagine what does it. What is a Coke Zero Oreo? Oh, what does it taste like?
I don't know, but I do see that there's one in stock a mile from my house at a Walgreens. It costs $2.89 apparently, which is expensive for a single can of Coke Zero. But
for a single can? Oh my God!
I might have to do it for science.
What? I can't imagine this tastes good. I cannot imagine this tastes good.
No, I do not think it will, but I almost have to.
Maybe the Oreos taste good.
I think the Oreo cookies themselves probably are fine. Like they're probably just like slightly weird flavored Oreos, which is, that can be interesting.
Oh, I don't know what to do. I want to try these so bad, but I'm not normally a try weird foods kind of guy.
Yeah, but these are like I don't know, not that weird of foods. Like they're kind of known quantities, sort of.
The Coke Zero on the can says fizzy cookie flavor.
Yes, it does say that. Yes, you're correct.
What does a fizzy cookie taste like?
I don't know.
No, and you know what the answer is? The answer is the Coca-Cola Oreos. And when you ask, what does the Coca-Cola Oreos taste like? It says a fizzy cookie flavored soda.
Ugh. Okay.
It's a self-referential joke.
Yes, of course.
And we're the victim.
On the Oreo website, they sell 2-packs of the Oreo things for $10. You can have them ship them to you.
I'm just going to go to Sheetz later and buy one of each of these.
I think we should both do this and report back.
Fine. I'll take that as homework. All right. You got a deal.